Imagine if porn sites did that. That'd be the worst.
just cuts off straight to an advert.
Cuts off. New from JML.
So pissed off.
Start the engines.
Was that you starting?
Start the engines.
Did it?
Yeah, this is us starting. I want you to actually start the engines of the podcast.
I'm going for a World War II era plane.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, sort of biplane.
Sounds like a good biplane.
I can't hear any engine starting. I can't start the podcast.
I've got the noise suppression on the
starting.
podcast. We'll hear that and they'll say, that sounds like a Douglas DC-10 starting up.
Oh, really? Were you making the noise, but noise suppression of Zoom is not allowing Adam and I to hear it?
You know, like when it banned arid landscape sound effect, and it was in the
arid
episode.
landscape
It
sound.
also now has a setting to ban World War II era piston-powered plane engines.
Sounds. That's bad.
Adam, have we got enough trust in Benson that he did do an engine starting sound to get this podcast up?
I could just insert the sound of a Concorde in there.
Landscape sound. You know, we couldn't hear it on the podcast. I heard it on the recording. So
should I do it again and see if you can hear
it?
it?
Is true.
Yeah, please start the engines of the podcast again, Benson. I really can't hear a fucking thing.
It cuts it right out, doesn't it?
Yeah, you need to change the settings, Benson. You need to allow the sound of planes starting up.
You not hear any of that?
No, nothing.
I can't wait to play that back to you at some point.
Well, we'll hear it in the episode, I guess, if you're telling the truth, unless this is the greatest lampoon of all time and you're not making any sound.
International lampoon.
Absolutely. Well, let's get on with the podcast anyway. Welcome.
I forgot we've got listeners here waiting for us.
I know, yeah, they're hearing the engine sounds, waiting for the podcast to start. Adam and I can't hear it, so yeah, we're just going to have to take your word for it and get on with it. This is Killer Rabbit Podcast. It's Yorkshire's #1 alternative news podcast, where we seek out the silliest, strangest, and most surreal stories from around the world. I haven't said that intro in quite some time, so I thought I'd bring it back. You know? Bring sexy back, guys.
Yeah.
Bring an intro back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring that intro back. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I've got bad news to start the podcast off with. Sorry, guys.
Well,
sorry.
that's a shit start.
I know, sorry to bring the tone down, but we're no longer in the top 3 indie music podcasts on Good Pods.
Oh, does that mean the band's splitting up?
Yeah.
So
goodbye, giblets and trousers.
That would have been cool, wouldn't it, if I was like, we're #1? No, we're not.
No.
We're not in there anymore. So
we don't talk about indie music. Is that why?
No, we started talking about it, and that's so against the indie regime that now, because we're talking about it, we can't be part of the Indie Music Podcast League.
Okay, you can't talk about indie music if you're in indie music. Makes sense.
So what are we in now?
If you are just tuning in, we are featured on Good Pods, which is a podcatcher. It's a very good one. You should go and check it out.
And they're introducing dark mode.
They're introducing dark mode.
Oh, are they?
They are
I like
introducing
the
dark
dark
mode.
mode.
It's official. But yeah, you can go on there and listen to podcasts. You can listen to our podcast on there, and then you can rate us, and you can rate individual episodes and chat with other like-minded fans of the podcast that you love. So get yourself on Good Pods. But inexplicably, we were in the top 3 for indie music podcasts, despite not featuring any kind of indie music. However,
we also featured #1 best talk, and we don't feature any talking either.
That's true. We've never talked.
Yeah,
speaking of where to listen to your podcasts, I found out, talking of on the No Talk podcast, I found out this week that people listen to us on their TV via YouTube.
Yeah, we do post it all on YouTube now.
I know we posted it there. I didn't think anyone knew. But the fact that I'm on someone's TV...
because you're on the telly. You think you're
not
telly? Actually on the telly, though, are you?
But we're on the same website as, like, Chocolate Rain and the Evolution of Dance. That's, like, you know, that's pretty big there.
Those are some old school video references there, Benson.
Chocolate Rain.
I thought you were way too young for Chocolate Rain, surely.
No.
Yeah, how old were you when Chocolate Rain came out?
What year was it?
I don't
Chocolate
fucking
Rain,
know.
I would guess around 2009.
So I was in year 9,
Maybe.
which was the perfect YouTube watching era. An
Oh,
evolution
was
of
it?
dance, which that existed before YouTube, didn't it? That was unlike other things before YouTube came and took over
Yeah,
the video
Evolution
streaming.
of Dance was super old.
That was such a cool video.
2007, Chocolate Rain.
So I'd have been starting high school and
11-year-old Benson listening
Going,
to Chocolate
"Chocolate
Rain. I don't
Rain."
think so. I don't think
I was doing it in a high
Moving
pitched
away
voice.
from the mic
"Chocolate
to
rain."
breathe. Huh? Is that what you were doing?
It was.
so.
it was
Are we
it was
taking
pretty-
from this that you think we're like now famous? We are TV stars, Benson.
don't-
Is that what you getting
Benson,
from?
I think we
there's a
are because
different-
people.
I think
I
there's
just
a-
thought podcasts were listened to on a phone with headphones on. I thought that was the usual way. I don't listen to podcasts, so I don't know how to do it.
I think there's and I think that bar's quite low for fame there. You've got quite a low.
I didn't say that. That was Sam.
I was just wondering if that's where you were going.
I just
with it.
think it's cool that we've been played on a TV. So I think everyone should play us on a TV.
What if you're out walking your dog or something?
Carry
That's
the
when
TV
listen to
with you.
Podcasts like me.
Just carry the TV and the soundbar. And
I
the
mean,
power
I can
supply.
still listen to it on YouTube while I'm out and about.
Do you have that premium
have to be a
version where you can
TV?
lock your screen?
No, I always have to have my screen open.
That's just a horrible way of doing anything, isn't it?
I have.
Yeah,
I don't like
That's
that.
awful.
YouTube, that
is
was
the
very naughty
worst.
of you, YouTube. You started
Naughty
off
YouTube.
all innocent, no adverts, just pure, raw footage of whatever you wanted to fucking see on YouTube.
Charlie biting fingers.
Charlie
you know,
biting fingers,
just
etc.
My
And then,
days
Me at the
Zoo.
zoo.
and then you come in with, this is a 20-second video, but there's 3 adverts at the start, and we're going to dump another one right at the important part of the video as well.
Yeah. The
Imagine if porn sites did that. That'd be the worst.
just cuts off straight to an advert.
Cuts off. New from JML.
I'm so pissed off.
Have you been injured at work? An accident that wasn't your fault? Try to jack off.
Oh my god, you'd hate the company forever. I mean, the thing is with the YouTube ads. Let's talk about this here because if I'm watching a video
let's
on
talk.
YouTube and it gets to a crucial point and then an advert pops up, I automatically hate that company.
Yep.
Just-
and the
just without
person who
a
uploaded
doubt.
the video as well.
No, just without a doubt, no to that ad and that company at all. Surely it's got to be harmful for sale.
Yeah. I don't mind them at the start or at the end. The end is fine because I'm like, I'm done with this video anyway. It's fine.
If anyone's
But
paying
yeah,
for
you
their
know-
advert to be at the end, they've not really understood like viral marketing have they? Very well.
basic advertising concepts.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. If it's in the middle of the video, if it's several times throughout the video, I'm just not watching it anymore.
Oh,
No
what about
chance.
you know
No
if you go,
chance.
if you're watching something and then you skip back a bit because you missed if you're watching like an instructional video and it
puts
does
an
another advert, then I'm going backwards and I'm getting an advert.
I've had my fill. I've had my fill.
Fuck your advert.
But
Yeah,
you
no, I'm not
but
a
you
fan of
remember back in the
adverts,
day,
right?
YouTube was just a website, no adverts, there was no money to be made from it. And
Videos.
now I think YouTube have actually accidentally started the whole influencer trend because it was them where you first started getting paid for Google ads and revenue and all of that. And now, it's just a sad world
Have
that we
you
live in.
noticed there's even more influencer-based adverts these days? So they'll pop up on your screen acting like it's just a normal video. Oh, you know this product, and you're just like, fuck you, fuck this product, fuck everything about
Oh,
it. I hate
yeah.
you all. Hate
And
all
they
of you.
talk to themselves. They really annoy me.
Go
As two different
away.
people.
Yeah,
And then it's
sneaky
like-
adverts are bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to be
fuck.
sneaky.
The only person who
Fuck
did
off.
that well was that Buxton guy.
Adam,
Oh yeah, Adam Buxton.
He made his own adverts and it was funny to listen. It was part of the show.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love his adverts. There is a good way of doing them.
yeah,
there's
absolutely.
definitely
There
a
is.
good
There's a
way
way
of
of
doing
slotting it in, but everything's so jarred now. And nah, I'm not into it. I don't get involved.
Speaking of adverts,
fuck
I tweeted out from the official KRP account the other day about the pot noodle advert, which is just horrible. It's just an absolute oral assault. It's the worst thing I've ever heard, and it comes on so often, and I
ain't
have
seen
to
it.
reach for the remote to mute it. Well,
I've not
this is the
seen
thing.
it either.
I advise that you don't. I suppose
Okay.
to understand what I'm talking about, it'd be a kind of. The normal thing would be for me to say, go and check it out, but don't check it out. It's horrible. Take my word for it. Because I guess there is the argument that this is probably what they wanted. They wanted people talking about it.
Yeah.
Can you describe it to us and the
Well,
listeners?
it's the whole Yeah, that's how
It's-
it goes nowadays with adverts. It needs to be all like stuff that you put online. If you want the reactions, you got to put something controversial to get people
Shock and
liking
awe.
in the comments, right? And that's how they measure success with advertising on social media. It's how many reactions they are to it.
Yeah.
It's
But it's
not,
put me off pot
negative
noodles
reactions
completely.
and stuff. Well, it puts me off everything nowadays. If you're playing like that, playing those stupid games, you win stupid prizes eventually.
It's
Oh,
basically
that's a
just
proper
somebody
say, isn't
slurping a pot noodle. Basically.
Well, I can top your
it's
pot noodle
a
disgust.
a very lengthy slurpy noise, and it really it goes. It's imagine nails down a chalkboard, amplify it by 10. It's horrible. It's just really really nasty to listen to.
Whilst we're talking of pot noodle and disgusting stuff, I've got a question for you. So, pot noodle and one other think of it another food that is by itself perfectly fine. What is the worst thing you can imagine dipping into a pot noodle?
Oh, it's a great question.
So
The
by
worst
so pot noodle by
Just
itself
a
is
single
okay,
food.
and another edible item that you are perfectly fine eating normally, but dipped into a pot noodle. What's the worst thing you can?
I'm gonna go with a chalk ice.
All right,
what I'm
okay,
gonna
okay.
That's
It's
what
quite
I'm-
interesting you say that.
I was going to go down chocolate bar.
Okay. Well, you're both on a really weird, accurate path here. So somebody at work the other day, I have no idea who they were. I overheard the conversation. With a good friend of ours, actually, they were conversing with Jimmy Grumble, if you remember him from the old podcast episodes that don't exist. And this guy is dipping...
Shout out Jimmy Grumble.
Jimmy Grumble.
Waiting for
This guy is dipping chocolate digestives into a pot noodle on a regular basis
Oh,
and eating them.
straight to jail.
Straight
Jail.
to
Straight to jail. Why?
I said something
It's
similar.
going to soak up the noodle. All that
Chocolate
pot
noodle.
noodle juice. I'm not a fan of pot
Uh.
noodles anyway. That chicken and mushroom, just like powdery taste of. It's horrible.
You know when you lose your biscuit in a cup of tea. Imagine losing your biscuit in your pot
pot
noodle. It
noodle,
just
taking a
drops to the
slurp
bottom
of
and you-
noodles
Yeah.
of soggy biscuit and bits. Oh,
Chocolatey,
no,
biscuity
why
noodle.
do people do this? What's wrong with this person?
Well, we found out when we did the sandwich episode, didn't we? Back in the smoked badger and rye episode when we
Oh,
tasted
wow, I
lots of different
forgot about them episodes.
God,
nasty sandwiches that people do have weird things. It's like sort of pregnancy cravings, but just all the time, isn't it? Yeah.
I
Just
don't like
eating weird
these.
shit.
people. Scare me.
Anyway, am I right to just reverse back, just step back a little bit here? So
What are you backing up into? Oh, you can't
Well,
do that
I-
again.
I'd brought up the indie podcast, the indie music thing.
Sorry, did we
because I've got-
completely
I've actually
sidetrack
got-
you?
Yeah, a little bit, but that's what the podcast is all about. So I didn't stop it. I didn't stop it happening. I wanted to see where it was going. But I did bring a music story. So maybe if we include a story that's about music, then we can reclaim our rightful throne in the top 3 of the indie music podcast on Good Pods HQ. Go check them out.
I like
So
your style.
we've all been in bands, right? And quite often when you're in a band situation, you will have creative differences. You know, you're working closely with people who've got a shared passion. You all want similar things, but then you all want different things as well. Maybe from the sound, or where you're going, or where you're playing, or how often you practice. You can
Yes.
vibe with this, right? You understand
Yes,
where I'm
so
coming
I
from.
understand. I've
With
been in this
this, yes.
situation many times.
Many
Yeah,
times.
absolutely. I'm sure we all have, so singers getting upset, and usually there's plenty of
And
ego in bands, and it's
Singers
normally from the
getting
singer.
upset and singers
Never from the bass player,
getting
though.
Yeah.
upset. Yeah.
Oh, the bass player's always chill.
The bass player's just
cool as
chill,
fuck.
yeah. It's always the lead guitar
Well,
and the singer.
Historically, it's always been a thing as well, hasn't it? Like Fleetwood Mac, they
Axl
were
Rose
at
and
each other's
Slash.
throats and all fucking each other, and managed to create one of the best albums of all time while they were doing it. Axl Rose and Slash, yeah. It goes on in bands, doesn't it? It goes on, but sometimes they're able to move past those differences and create some wonderful art. However, there is
Sometimes.
there is a band, and they've had a completely bizarre thing going on within that band. I don't know if you heard about this, but have you heard of
about
a
this?
band called?
Sam's not heard about a band called
Is he
It's
frozen
called
again? No, he's there.
Lorona.
Lorona.
Lorona, they're called.
No, I have not.
So I'm going to read you the
Definitely
band
an indie
statement
band,
out
isn't it? It's an indie
verbatim. It's not an indie band, actually. It's a hardcore band. So maybe we'll go to number 3 in the hardcore band.
Okay, cool.
That's where I want to be.
So I'm going to read you out their statement verbatim. It says, "We have decided to part ways with our vocalist Diego due to admission of very disturbing and concerning behaviour towards one of our band members and their partner."
Oh, he didn't go lost profits, did he?
It's not
Whoa,
nonsense.
let's
It's,
not go
it's
that
wild.
dark.
Yeah, it's
What's
wild,
Diego
man.
done?
So he's admitted to being obsessed with said partner and has been attempting to sabotage their relationship by cutting pre-workout he frequently gifts from his job with high amounts of estrogen in them. So I think this is some kind of like gym powder, like creatine or something.
Yeah,
And the
pre-workout,
singer guy's been
yeah.
been getting it from his job or something and has been gifting it to bandmates, and this particular bandmate has been cutting it with high levels of estrogen. So he's been attempting to force a transition onto him for the past 5 months in hopes that it would give him the opportunity to swoop in once he looked stronger and more manly in comparison.
What the fuck?
Brackets, stupid caveman mindset that makes zero sense, close brackets. This tampering has caused confusion and thousands of dollars in medical bills in the past month trying to work out what's wrong. We would not have known any of this unless Diego had not gotten himself way too intoxicated and ousted himself and then stated an admission to all of this via text. There are many more disgusting details that have been left out of this for the sake of privacy and general censorship. So this guy has been feeding his bandmate estrogen to try and turn him into a woman so he can steal his girlfriend.
There's a movie here, and there's definitely.
Go, Diego.
I can't believe that he's planned it to this level and then outed himself.
Yeah, no, they just got drunk and just been like, "Oh, guess what I've been fucking doing, mate."
lads,
You'll
listen.
never fucking guess what, lads, and partially.
You
You'll
want
never get
you want to talk about pranks? Oh boy, have I got a story for you!
Yeah. Do you remember that time when I put a whoopee cushion under you? Oh, yeah. Do you know what I've been doing for the last 5 months? Get this.
Turn you into a woman, mate.
The plot twist, if this had carried on, the plot twist would have been that he then fell in love with the now woman band member.
Oh, my God. That would have been fucking right plot twist.
Maybe that will still happen.
That's insane.
So, of all the bands I've been, I don't think anything that crazy has ever
What did
happened.
they do then? Pump him full of testosterone then?
They could do it the other way.
Just reveal.
So he's got a huge whopping penis and tits.
He's just got like pour loads of testosterone powder on in his gravy or something. eat that, Dan. Eat that, Dan. You'll be fine. Do that.
Put hairs on your chest as this.
Jesus Christ! Imagine. Yeah,
That's insane. How old is these people?
So, funnily, what we were talking about before as well, it was the singer's the guy that's done it, and the victim is the bass player. Poor bass player.
Always.
But-
The rhythm section always gets fucked.
But how come the bass player's got the coveted lady there? That's crazy, isn't it? Normally be the singer anyway, wouldn't it?
No, the singer gets the crazy ladies. The bass player has the sound chilled one because that's what
Scientifically true.
Pure scientific, guys.
So apparently he's had physical changes from the hormones, and he's had stomach ulcers, weight loss, muscle fatigue, mental issues as well.
Oh man!
And apparently the guy is Diego is trying to pass it off as some kind of pranky joke, but
Got you.
It's not a prank. That's not a prank. Not after 5 months.
Really not, is it?
Not a prank at all. I tried to. What the fuck?
But if you've learned anything from this,
nuts. But
if we've learned it,
always check your pre-workout for.
well, I was going to say, yeah, it's a PSA. Don't take creatine or other pre-workouts from band members, strangers, anyone really, because there is a likelihood that there is a estrogen. That stuff in
There's
it.
a low percentage, but there's always now a chance that it's got estrogen in it.
I mean, with it being a band, you think they'd have been more creative and like put it in the cocaine or something, but.
This is modern bands though. Now they don't do.
Yeah, they don't
Oh
do
no, they
drugs
drink
nowadays.
green
Muscle
tea and
workout.
creatine, don't
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They go to juice bars.
they? Refreshing.
Maybe you just thought they'd have more chance of success if they had a female band member as well. Maybe it was nothing to do with them
That's it,
courting
exactly.
a girlfriend.
I mean, sometimes it's going to help a band.
And again, that's usually the bass player, isn't it? If you've got a female member in your band, that is
but
usually the
there's
bass player.
something about a female bass player, though.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
I don't know what it is, but there just is.
The fact that they're female.
Very, very true.
So I think
That's it, Benson.
Damn it, you just hit
Nail
the
on the
head.
I think as a challenge, we should all try and find a weirder story specifically about a person trying to split up a couple. To
Find the
swoon in.
weirdest. What is
Get
it?
in touch
Well,
with us. Come
you
and
say
tell
that
us.
because-
Not me. I'm not going to get in touch with you. Fuck that. Listeners can.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh, sorry. I was asking you two.
He was asking us to do it, and you're
was
like,
asking
no,
you two.
listeners, you give us
I'm
the stories.
fobbing it off.
That's not going to happen. You can't even get them to name a fucking
delegating.
pastor.
Standard
Never mind.
delegation of work.
Guys, I'm delegating.
Sam,
They
you
did
can't
tell
even
us
get
about
them
the
to
pastor,
listen.
though.
Yeah, well, okay, fair enough. You can't get them to listen to an episode, so you can't get them to find a story about the weirdest breakup attempt.
Maybe they will. Maybe they'll surprise us all.
Surprise us, and I'll let Sam off for that £50 that he owes me.
I'm refusing to do any work today because
Why?
it's the 29th of February.
I
as we-
know.
It's
It's
not a
not
day.
a real
This
day.
isn't a
It's
day.
not a real day. It's a fake
not-
day.
Nobody should be able to do anything
It's
on the
fake as
29th
fuck.
of February.
Fake day. Fake
Stupid
day.
day.
I've been on a training course all day, so it's been a fake day.
But we're all salaried workers. We're not getting paid for this shit. This is just an extra day, just lumped in there.
Yeah, I know. Extra day of
Oh.
work. That's why I did a training course.
I didn't think about that.
See,
I'm
now
upset you
Benson's
there,
like,
Benson.
oh,
I'm
motherfucker,
taking-
I ain't
I'm
getting
taking tomorrow off.
compensation for this extra day.
I'm staying in bed all day tomorrow.
No, that's what you're supposed to do today, Benson. You missed your chance. You got to wait 4 years now to.
You don't
put
want to
that
do
into
it. You
action.
don't want to do it on the day that no one else is doing it. You want to do it on the busy day after. So I get full advantage of it then.
I am.
No, nobody should do anything.
I am, however, doing a sponsored dry end of February for the 30th and 31st of February. If anyone wants to. sponsor me.
Congratulations.
Nice
It's gonna be
one.
really good.
Nice one.
So,
I will
you know,
sponsor you for them 2 days.
Excellent.
Why does February have less days? I've only just figured this. I ain't figured it out. No, I knew that it had less days. I knew that it had less days before we go into that fucking thing. Right. I knew it had less days. But why?
Anyway,
But why? Why February? Why not June?
well, why? The days and months are all wrong anyway. There should be like 10 days in a week, 5 of which are working, 5 of which are off. There should be 10 months.
Ugh.
You know, why have we got 24 hours? It should be a 20-hour day.
Why is
20-hour
October
day.
the 10th month and not the 8th month?
Shit, yeah.
December should be the 10th month.
And September should be 7.
it.
Sept
Just 10.
is 7. Who added
See?
the extra months in and went, no one will notice this, lads. And then they got to October like, shit, you know what we've done here, don't you? We proper fucked it, lads. We have proper, well and truly
the
fucked it.
calendar was changed. Wasn't the
How many
calendar
days in a week?
changed?
7. 7 days in a week. Why? 7? Where have you plucked that from?
Wasn't the
Let's
calendar
put that
changed
out.
by fucking Cleopatra when she were banging Caesar? Isn't that when it changed?
Cleopatra banged Caesar.
Yeah.
The Egyptian.
Sounds like a news story we should be covering.
Egyptian
Breaking news.
princess banged the Roman.
Cleopatra.
We now
had
join
a
Adam
child
Chase
with
live
Julius Caesar,
in.
yeah.
I thought
in
Cleopatra was
Egypt.
like Tutankhamun era.
No, Cleopatra was Roman. She was the last pharaoh of Egypt. And then they got took over.
Well,
by the
she
Romans,
wasn't
but
Roman then, was she?
sleeping
She
with-
was Egyptian.
She was. No, that's not what I mean. That Roman era. But yeah, no, she
She's a
changed the
Roman era.
calendar when she was banging Caesar.
Well, what was it
What, to
before?
get him back?
I can't
You and
remember.
your small dick
I'm
that you
gonna
had
look
made a
this up
statue
now.
of. I'm going to fuck you up with different months being added in. Fuck you.
That must have been really demasculating
No,
for
but it was-
Caesar. While
this
he's
was why-
plowing away, and she's just like, "What if we change the dates?"
Why do you put a leaf
But
in
this
front
is
of your
it
penis?
was a subject of contention though in Rome because people of Rome fucking didn't like her, but Caesar did, and she managed to do stuff like change the calendar and that. And they
Is
were
that why
like,
you got
"Yeah, look,
stabbed?"
She fucking pretty
Ooh.
much.
Well,
Did
what was
they
it
add-
before?
did they add
there used to be
March
10
in?
months?
Did they add
Cleopatra
March
introduced.
into-
Here we go. Cleopatra introduced the leap year. Fucking mic drop.
Cleopatra.
No way.
Right, fucking there. Do you introduce a leap year?
Was she really stoned or something? Why not? Right, every 4 years, right? Should we just whack an extra day on February just for the laugh?
I want to know how they
sake,
knew back
Cleopatra.
then to do this, because the leap year's designed because I think every year it's a year and it's a day and a quarter or something stupid in it, or there's a quarter added onto every other of the years, so you had to do the leap year to make sure that February didn't end up when August should be. I can't remember the fucking.
This is exactly how the
so-
conversation went as well. While they were back.
Listen here.
The current calendar is called the Julian calendar.
I knew it was the Julian
Julius
calendar.
Julian.
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 I said I had another month, and I went, October's 8 and September's 7.
So
It's all over the place. Oh, we'll have 30 days in this one, 28 days there, 30 days there. How many months? 12? Yeah. How many days?
Before
Seven in a
that,
week.
they
How
used
many
to
minutes?
have-
How many hours? 24.
Before
yeah.
that, they used to have 30 days in every month.
There you go. That
And
makes sense.
But they did it because
know.
summer
No.
ended up being when winter, so they were expecting it to be summer and it was
to
snowing.
realign it with the sun. They had to add
Yeah.
90 extra days.
Because back then farming was difficult. I never
So there
knew
you go.
Cleopatra's at the same
were
time as the Romans.
Cleopatra.
That's fucking blown my mind everywhere. Like John F. Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
So who
So
stabbed
there you go.
him?
There's a little bit of history. The Roman Senate all stabbed him, didn't they? Because he was
The
trying to
entire
become
Senate?
Yeah, they
Senate.
all took turns.
Ah.
Oh, they had a stab each.
They
It's
all-
my turn.
and
my
then-
turn.
and then went to
I can't-
Cleopatra's
No,
room
you've had
after.
your
But
stab.
there's
I
like-
saw you. I saw you stabbed him fourth. You were the fourth person.
There is
No,
a-
I
There
was
is
just
a
making the
debate over who stabbed him first. They don't actually know who stabbed him first, but they all fucking had a go. Because he was trying to become a king and get rid of Rome as being how he was.
Emperor's not enough, is
the
it? I want to be a
emperor.
king now.
No, he'd become a lifelong dictator at that point.
I will be king
and
of
he
the
was trying to become
emperors
king
or
with
emperor of the
Cleopatra
kings,
as his queen, and people didn't
whichever's
like
better.
that.
So the Senate stabbed him.
So
And
the
that
Senate
is
stabbed
how
him
we
to get
have
rid
the
of him.
Conservative Party today.
Yes.
And that's history with Killer Rabbit Podcast.
Next week we learn all about the Great Depression.
No,
Oh.
that's terrible, Dan. Rubbish history.
Inventive
it's-
time for
it's-
moonshiners.
It's
though.
bad. It's false
That is
advertising.
true.
It was actually a really, really happy time.
Everyone's
It's just-
really happy because they had all
Yeah,
the
nobody was
moonshine.
drinking, so they weren't depressed at all. They actually got out and enjoyed their lives and enjoyed the fresh
It was
air.
ironically. It was
Pure
ironically
sobriety.
named.
It's
Everyone was
basically
having a great
what
time.
What people in society want now is everyone to be sober and just happy at life. It was happening, and everyone was like, "No, fuck this! The Great Depression is on us."
In fact, there was at the time they all got together, the Senate, etc. Cleopatra was there, and they went. People are going to be
Cleopatra's
so
there just going,
jealous.
maybe if we just put 4 extra days in December. Like, shut up, Cleopatra, no.
Stop adding more days to the calendar.
And they all said to it, they went, right, everybody is going to be really jealous of this fun time we've been having for the last few years, so let's call it the Great Depression and then cause the financial market to crash. We'll cancel all the fun and then let the country and the world kind
Cancel the fun.
of... cancel the fun. So,
That's
excuse
what
me,
they did
sir.
when they got
Are you
rid of
having
alcohol,
fun?
they cancelled the fun.
Yeah.
Cancel it now. Cancel
At
all
one
of it.
point in America, and I think in England, they banned Christmas, didn't they?
All
And you
the
were
fun was
fined.
fully
You were
cancelled,
fined for
yeah.
celebrating Christmas. Cleopatra
Christmas
were there.
cancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Great Depression was originally called the Super Party Times, but because
They
they
had to
didn't want to
rebrand.
rebrand because they didn't want to upset future generations, like Benson said. So,
We gotta
you know.
rebrand.
I don't know what we're
Yeah.
going to do now, but you said we were talking about this on the next episode. We've covered it now. Next up,
That's
next
very
week,
true.
do big boats sink on their maiden voyage? Find out when we talk about the Indianapolis. Next up, we have Sam's middle section. Take it away, Sam. Thank you.
Sorry, what is this voiceover guy? Can somebody get Vag on the phone because they've sent
We're not calling
they've
Vag.
sent us an absolute dud.
It takes too long to get Vag involved. We're not getting him involved. That's cancelled. Do your fucking section, Sam.
Benson, can you lock this guy in a room or something? So I don't want him doing any. No, sorry, voiceover guy the third, but you're not welcome here. You're not needed on this show.
I'll put sellotape round his mouth.
Your sloth's little brother.
Excellent. I am glad. Yeah, it's the middle part of the podcast. It's Sammy's little section. Going to try something.
It's Sammy's section in the middle.
A little bit different today. So, are you familiar with Reddit? I'm sure you're familiar with Reddit, aren't you?
Yes, that's
it's the one app that I don't understand how to use, though. I read a question and then I scroll down
the one app
thinking
you
that's
don't
the
understand
answer.
how to use.
Well, I read a question and then I scroll down thinking that's where the answer is, and it's another question. Just a fucking list of...
You just press the comment bit where you can.
Yeah,
see
but it
the
wasn't
comment.
obvious. I had to be shown how to use it. It's very embarrassing.
Well-
I think it's the first time I felt old.
How do you
No,
use it?
I remember when I first tried to use Twitter and I had no idea what was going on. It was the same with Reddit as well. But if you've not used Reddit before, it's almost like an internet within the internet. So there's
Don't
lots of
send people to Reddit, man. You don't need to do that to people. It's not a nice thing to do.
there's lots of things on there called subreddits, and there's a subreddit for everything. So you could go on the gardening subreddit and talk about gardening things, or there'll be
And get
sci-fi films
slated
and fruit
because you said the
gardens.
wrong thing about the wrong plant because you didn't have the right experience, and then 50 other people pile on and destroy you. Yeah.
There is some nice corners of
There's
Reddit
no
as well.
niceness in Reddit. Reddit is.
Have you not been on the nice corner of Reddit subreddit?
is that where you say "Have a nice day" and everyone tells you to go die?
No, it's actually a
everybody
trick.
says you
It's actually a
too.
trick. It's an evil place.
Yeah, exactly. All of Reddit is evil.
Tis an evil place. Anyway, there is a subreddit on there, a very popular one called Ask Reddit, which, as it suggests, you can go on there and ask questions. You can ask any old question about any old thing. And I saw one the other day, and somebody had gone on there to ask a question, and the following thread was other users following up with questions for the original poster, or questions or statements or suggestions.
Subreddit questions.
So what we're going to do is we're going to try a live reading of this Reddit thread. Benson, I would like you to play the original poster, okay? And Adam and I will play the other Redditors who were responding to the original poster's question on the Ask Reddit subreddit. So we'll take turns, Adam. We'll take turns being the other Redditors.
Okay.
So
How would you get a small cylinder, open brackets, 5.1 inches in length, or to 5.5 inches girth, close brackets, unstuck from a mini M&M's tube filled with butter and microwaved mashed banana?
Laughing Mike.
So that was-
All right, go then.
that was the question submitted to Ask Reddit. Let's find out how it went from there.
Laughing my fucking ass off. The comments OP replies with are hilarious. It's your dick, bro. You stuck your dick in an M&M tube of butter. Go take a cold shower and relax.
It's a cylinder.
Bro, did you get your dick stuck in an M&M tube?
It's a cylinder, period.
You know what? That's just your dick now. Live with your M&M tube filled with butter and bananas, dick, for the end of your days and think about what you've done.
It's a cylinder.
Urinate if possible?
I don't see how urination has anything to do with my trapped cylinder, but okay.
What's so important about this cylinder? It's not attached to you, is it?
It's attached to a larger... It's attached to a larger structure, so there's a weird angle situation to try and insert anything else into the tube.
If the tube isn't made of anything soft, you could saw through the M&M's container? Hope this helps.
It's plastic, but I don't want to risk damaging what's inside.
Cut the cylinder free from the larger object to give you more access. Cut the M&M's container. If you freeze it, the plastic will break easy with a smash of a hammer. Reattach the cylinder after removal from the tube. If you have trouble reattaching the cylinder, there are repair specialists that can assist for a fee. Depends how much you value the cylinder at.
It is imperative that the cylinder and the larger object remain unharmed.
If the banana is microwaved, it can be removed by using a spoon to scoop it out. If the cylinder is stuck in the tube, it can be removed by twisting it or using a butter knife to loosen it.
I'm not comfortable having a knife that close to the cylinder.
Cut the tube.
I don't want to risk a blade coming that close to the cylinder.
You're going to want to get the larger structure the cylinder is attached to moving at high enough speeds that the internal pressure of the cylinder goes down, freeing it from the tube. If that fails, I would consider going to a professional cylinder removal specialist.
Due to another object attached at the cylinder's base, it is difficult to have a range of motion large enough to gather enough speed and angular momentum for that.
If the small cylinder has blood flow, do jumping jack to shrink the cylinder. If not, making everything cold should help. The butter, even when solid, will be a lubricant and you should be able to pull it out.
It seems like the cylinder may have expanded and pushed a lot of the butter out when inserted. But why would a cylinder have blood flow? Also, doing jumping jacks may cause harm to two other objects attached at the base of the cylinder, since it will be moving freely.
5.1 inches is really big. Maybe stick a smaller cylinder in there next time. The problem at hand is quite hard to solve, though. I think the best course of action is to see a doctor, despite how embarrassing a small cylinder in a mini M&M tube is.
The cylinder was smaller when inserted. Maybe due to changing temperature, it expanded significantly. That's where the problem started.
Wait for the cylinder to go soft.
What if the cylinder hasn't changed size in approximately 3 hours?
Have you tried inserting another cylinder into the M&M's tube from the other side?
If the tube had an opening on the other end, it would not be sealed. I will keep that in mind next time I try this experiment.
Go to the hospital or call 911.
Emergency services usually don't take kindly to calls about failed experiments.
I think that they would be understanding in your case. The cylinder seems pretty important.
You keep avoiding the question, but everyone knows you got your tiny dick stuck in the tube and are too embarrassed to admit it or go to the hospital. Wait and it will get soft and come out, or you may have to go to the hospital, but we all know what you did.
It's not a tiny dick, it's an above average size cylinder. Oh, internet.
I love it.
You wonderful, wonderful
There
thing.
you go. So that's become a meme in itself now. Everybody's responding to everybody with cylinder talk on there. And that guy is going to have to create a brand new account if he wants to continue using it, because every single comment he's made after that has been involving a cylinder. Bless him. Bless him and his stuck cylinder.
And his small cylinder.
Inside the bigger cylinder.
I like the fact that he said, when I try this experiment next time.
Yeah, next time.
It's going to be next time.
Don't do it again.
In the first three, he was adamant for the first three it was a cylinder as well.
It is a cylinder. It was just a cylinder.
It's a cylinder. It's just a cylinder in another cylinder.
Just put a cylinder in there, it got stuck. Want to get it out?
First cylinder is attached to a larger object with two other objects at the base.
Very precious cylinder.
It's very precious. It's imperative that it doesn't get damaged.
That's the bit that made me.
We all know, dude. We all fucking know what happened. Just fucking admit it. It's Reddit.
Why do men put their willies in silly places?
Ooh, for the fun.
Where's the silliest you've put yours, Benson?
I've never done out weird like that.
Put your willy in things.
What about a cylinder? Where's the strangest place you've placed a cylinder?
Cylinder. I've found some very strange spots for cylinders. I didn't realise we're talking about cylinders still. Thought we were talking about other things. No, I've never stuck my cylinder anywhere.
Have you ever got your cylinder caught in a zip?
No. I've caught my...
Both of you never done that?
Somebody
trapped
at
the
school
scrotum
did.
before.
Somebody at school did. Oh, I've never done it.
I've done it. Yeah, I've zipped up on my bit. Oh, God, it's horrific.
I've seen something about
again,
Mary, and from that moment, I've always had that
Why
in
they
my
had to
head.
add... Why they had to add the quick
The fucking image. Yeah,
image of it.
why they put that image in, I don't know. That's the worst part.
I haven't seen that film in ages. Hey, lads. seeing as though we started off the podcast advertising, we talked about alternative news. Did we? Did you say that at the start? I can't remember, Sam.
I don't know.
I did, yeah. I brought the old intro back. Just
Yes, you
for
did.
a laugh.
So I've actually brought a story for us as well, and it's from the BBC News.
The BBC News.
Now,
The big black cylinder.
The big... Don't think you can say that one. Now,
Why? It's just a cylinder.
because it's the BBC, they'll cancel us. If you get cancelled by the BBC, you're fucked, really, aren't you?
I mean, the
We're
BBC
not on
should
the
be
BBC,
cancelled
though. You do
themselves.
realise
but
this.
But they cancel you anyway. They just cancel you from
What?
everything.
You've got no nonsense in your show. Cancelled.
Cancelled.
They'll never be on the BBC.
At least 2/3 of the outfit has to be nonsense. There's only 3 of us. Yep. Well, that's the risk you've got to take. Can't you tell by this voice that I am indeed a nonce?
None.
So, for our UK listeners, this might make a bit more sense, and to any theme park enthusiasts outside of the UK, there is a little theme park not too far away from us called Alton Towers.
This is true. We've been
This
there
is true. And
together.
we actually had an outing there, home of, as you know, the cleverest ride in the world, Hex.
Last time we went there, we saw a beach chicken riding a beach chicken. No
God,
word
we
of a
actually
lie.
did.
We saw them. We saw them amassing the
We've still
cavalry.
got a
The
video
beach
of
chicken
that.
cavalry. That's what that was.
Yeah, we've still got the video.
training.
For listeners of new, beach chicken is a seagull. We saw a seagull riding
Oh,
a
God,
seagull
yeah.
across
Sorry.
a pond. Or probably a lake. You probably call that a lake at that side. Anyway, Alton Towers, one of the biggest theme parks in the UK, very popular place. Back
Is it
in
not
the
the
day,
biggest? You would
No.
know as the theme park nonce.
it's not
What's the biggest in the UK?
I would have thought it was Alton Towers.
I would have thought it was on.
do you mean are you talking about in size?
Well, what? No, what else does
What
biggest
else?
mean?
What does it mean?
Well,
No,
somewhere can
we're
have-
talking
someone-
about in
someone-
volume of water.
Somewhere could be more well known.
We're
It could
talking
have,
about in
higher attendance.
political
How many-
standing.
You were talking about how many burgers they sell.
All right, fair enough. So it's it probably is the biggest park in the UK then. No,
Yeah,
think
no
about
shit.
it.
Alton Towers is the largest theme park in the UK, spanning 550 acres of land in central Staffordshire.
Yeah, but they only fill 50 acres of it. The rest of it's gardens.
The gardens are very
they're
important.
the best
part.
rides. They're the best rides.
Well, talking of
Going
the
across
rides,
gardens on the sky ride.
Better than
is awesome.
fucking Hex.
nothing's better than Hex, Sam. We've had this
Look,
argument,
right, the
many
cleverest
times.
ride there is the sky ride.
which doesn't fucking work half
It's
the
the
time. Like Hex
cleverest way
did it
of
for a
getting from one side to the other. Way.
Okay, so when we went, it wasn't there. It had been replaced. But do you remember back in the day they had the log flume there?
I do.
Oh, yeah, I
remember
know the log
remember the
flume.
log flume?
I've ridden the... I remember when it was sponsored by Imperial Leather.
And what
the ducks. the
very
big rubber
significant
ducks everywhere.
feature,
Big
besides
rubber
the
ducks.
ducks, what was the other significant feature for that advertisement? Because Imperial Leather is what you'd
suds.
use in the
Bath.
Soap.
Yeah,
Bath.
you went round in a
Soap.
bathtub, didn't you?
You
went round in a
absolutely
bathtub.
did. Now, this is very
Oh, right,
interesting that
okay.
you randomly bring this up without any suggestion from me. So
That's
when
true,
they
it
closed
was
the log
very
flume,
random.
one thing they didn't think about was the surplus of Bath-based log flume carriages.
They used to have a dryer, like a walk-in, standing
Don't
dryer.
fucking
at the
into
end
it.
of the
I'm
log
going
flume.
on to a thing here,
Yeah,
Sam.
we're talking about the dryers, Benson. Those dryers
What, the 50p,
were awesome.
the 50p dryers?
You had to pay for them.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were a quid.
They were a
Oh,
quid.
you
They were
don't want to
definitely
be
a quid.
wet? Then pay money. Pay
Yeah,
money
well, you
to
don't
not
go
be
on.
wet.
You went on the ride that gets you wet.
Yeah,
right?
buy a £10
You
plastic poncho, and then
Poncho.
after pay another £10 to stand under a lamp,
Nah, don't buy the poncho. Just stand under the lamp afterwards.
or just go on it and enjoy the
There's
fact
your
that
money
you're
saving
moistened.
trick right there.
Enjoy the moistness.
So anyway,
Embrace the moistness.
It
You
was good on a
travel
warm
instead of a traditional log and a log flume, you went round in a bathtub. So when they closed it, they had a surplus of bathtubs. And what Alton Towers decided to do, as you may know, is they sold
Put
some
them
of
in the hotel
They-
rooms.
They raised some of it for charity. They auctioned them off basically.
And Benson bought all of them because he's such a theme park nonce.
And you're going to call me a nonce. I like planes. You call me a plane nonce. The normal word to use is nerd, Sam, not nonce.
You're the one that brought nonsense into the podcast.
You can't say that.
I mean the word.
Aye.
You started using it and it stuck.
Anyway,
Go on then.
so
We'll let you
Mick
talk.
Foster, who
Mick.
Mick Foster, who, after a few drinks, had placed
It's called Mick Foster
on the auction to buy one of the bathtub boats. And when it arrived at his house, his girlfriend suggested that he could not store it in the house and have to put it into the back garden. So for the last few years, it's been safely stored in his back garden. Now, recently, there's been a lot of rain.
Oh.
And his back garden happened to back onto a river. So what's happened is the river burst its banks. I have to say it like that because it happened in South Yorkshire, but it burst its banks. And a dog walker has found a random Alton Towers bathtub floating down a river that has then got stuck on a banking in like a forested woodland area that has the stream going through it. So it's travelled 37 miles by itself downriver. Now, you know that they always say it's dog walkers that find everything. You know, people who have killed themselves, drugs, porn magazines. Yeah, bathtubs from Alton Towers. It just had to be a dog walker, didn't it? But anyway, so this guy, Mr. Foster, had to pay quite a lot of money because he wanted it back, obviously. Once you've paid that much, I don't know how much, once you paid a significant fee for
that bathtub's just fulfilling its destiny.
Exactly.
It was designed to travel.
Natural order of things. It's found its way back into a natural log flume.
Yeah. Going towards
For
the nearest
animals,
waterfall.
It tried breaking free. It actually tried to break free and get away from the captivity of the human. So the river Sheaf, the river Sheaf, S-H-E-A-F.
Say
Sheaf.
Yeah, Sheaf.
The river Sheaf took the boat away 37 miles down the road. But anyway, I thought it was just a nice little story. It's just an interesting one for...
How much did he have to pay to get it back?
Well, luckily, he has a good friend who was an ex-powerlifter, and he got him and his lads from the arm wrestling club in Chesterfield.
Walked it 30 miles back.
Luckily, his friend was a professional bath returner.
Well, you see, all I'm going to say is the bath floated downstream. You could have just got a couple of oars, mate, and just fucking...
Gone back upstream.
Paddled it back upstream.
Exactly.
You don't need to pay for it.
Paddling?
They're waiting for the weather to get better, but the arm wrestling team are going down to pick... I'm not joking, that's who's picking it up.
The arm wrestling team, what are they going to do? Have an arm wrestling contest with the bath?
But use their arms to lift it, I suppose. I don't know.
Well, you shouldn't be lifting with your arms, really, should you?
Lift with your back.
Someone else was going to charge him like $2,000.
Which one is it again?
Don't lift with your back.
Yeah. Lift with your eyes.
Lift with your
Lift with your eyes.
Lift with your face.
Yeah.
Oh, look at them biceps.
Health and safety.
Everyone just putting the face on it and going, lift.
So, I'm glad the bath got back to...
no, it's not back yet. He was going to. He got quoted.
Listen to the story, Sam.
by a bath
back
recovery.
To its rightful home, which is out on the water.
It's fucking on an embankment, fucking
Floating
beach, isn't it? It's not floating at all. It's
just
close
waiting.
to the water. This close.
It's waiting patiently for somebody to get in the bath so it can begin its journey.
Oh, maybe we should
get
go
in the bath. A big duck jumps out at you.
Maybe it's like a side quest. It's just waiting there, just waiting for someone to come along, and it's going to take them on a journey across the world.
A magical journey.
A magical journey.
Which is a good point. You know, we wanted to buy a pirate boat. You could just get one of them. All three of us would fit in it comfortably because they would seat 6 people in one of them.
You're right, we would. And then when the first rainstorm comes, we'd sink.
No, they've got holes in the bottom.
There's a fucking shit boat then.
No, water don't come up.
No, water doesn't go up.
It don't go up when it's floating. You can put a hole in the bottom or something. The water don't start coming in.
What?
Are we having this discussion?
If you put a boat, let's say, like a wooden boat in the ocean on flat, very calm water, so calmest water, and you drilled a hole straight down, the water wouldn't come up.
I think there's an experiment we can do here. Let's get a boat. Let's put Benson in it. Let's give him a drill.
In the middle of the ocean with a drill.
It can't come up because gravity.
No, it can. Underneath that boat, what that boat's doing is it's pushing the water down. So underneath that boat is a high pressure area. So as soon as you put a hole in it to release the pressure, that water's coming straight up.
You've not watched enough cartoons, Benson.
Nah, it comes in from the side. It doesn't come up from the bottom.
What do you mean it comes in from the...
It's definitely coming in from the bottom.
If you drill the hole in the side, it would come in, but not from the bottom.
That's fine. Benson, if you're that convinced, let's get a boat. Let's go to a lake. Let's play.
I'm happy to. I'll even bring the drill.
There we go. He said it. He said it.
So we'll travel out on 2 boats. Adam and I will go in the speedboat and return, and we'll leave you out in a bathtub with a hole in the bottom in the middle of the Atlantic.
Nah, it doesn't have to have a hole in the bottom at first. We'll just leave him with the drill. And he can he can put a few holes in, you know.
No, just one. Yeah. One's enough.
As many as you want.
One's
it's not going to come through, is it?
Point. Exactly.
Just cover the bottom in
We need
holes.
to anchor it, though, because
just remove the bottom.
We don't want him rowing back when it starts to sink.
Oh, no, absolutely not. That's
a good captain goes down with his bathtub. We all know this.
Right, okay. So if the person who owns this bathtub listens to the podcast, we would very much like to try our experiment using your bathtub.
In fact, yeah,
We'll
before
go to
you bring
like
it back
Lake
to your
Windermere
back
or
garden.
something. Oh, no, can we go to Loch Ness and do it?
Oh, that'd be good, because I could find Loch Ness as well.
Exactly, you could get eaten by the monster.
Oh, I don't want to get eaten. I just want all the riches and gold of Scotland. Is that too much to
what
ask
happens
for?
when you find Loch Ness?
You capture the Loch Ness monster, you get all of the gold.
You've got to
Scotland.
capture it.
Well, yeah, capture it, kill it.
Knowing your luck, it'll be fucking old Greg.
Are you just hoping that it's disappointingly small, like a little vole or something?
Like a small cylinder.
Eel. Some eel
small
flop.
cylinder.
It's just a small cylinder with sharp, pointy teeth.
Well, you know what? When you try that hole and you see the water coming through, you can put your small
I'm telling you
cylinder
now,
in it, can't you?
the hole in the bottom stops the water don't come up. Gravity.
Don't give it Benson, you can't truly believe that that's how it works.
I do, because if you turn a boat upside down and you put that underwater, the air stays in
There's an
the
air
boat
pocket, yeah,
bit.
but there's not an air pocket underneath it.
There is an air
No,
pocket
because
underneath it.
the shape of a boat's bow, there's no air pocket underneath.
There is. I'm telling you, the science is there.
Sam,
Just
I will-
remind me
help
never
me.
to get on a pedalo with Benson.
Well, Sam
Pedalers
will
are the
stay in
proof
the
of
same
it.
boat.
The fucking-
Benson gets his own fucking
If
boat.
you've just
from
proved
now
it
on.
there. The pedaler, right? The not the fan, the thing that spins round to not the pedals, but the what's it fucking called? The spinny thing that pushes it
The
forward.
blades on the fucking
Right? That sticks halfway up through the boat. So there is a hole there.
No,
There's a sealed unit around it.
Yeah, it's a separate.
It's not a sealed unit. They're open at the
There's a
back.
sealed unit around it.
Oh, no. I'm telling you, you're wrong. You're wrong on this occasion. Both of
We
you.
are 100% not wrong, but we will happily go into a lake and let you drill holes in the bottom of your
I'm going to get in the
boat.
bath tonight and prove it. I'm going to get a toy boat and prove it.
You drill holes in the bottom of your bath. No, you gotta get a toy boat is a different fucking kettle of fish, mate.
Why?
Because it's not a high pressure area because it's not got enough weight in it.
I'll push it down.
Okay, push it down and then drill a hole. Get you. Have you got a sink tub? You know, a tub that you have in the sink.
A sink tub.
So do you
I
have
don't know
a
what you
tub
mean.
for your sink that goes in the sink and you do your washing
like
up
a
in the
washing up
tub?
bowl.
and then you empty it?
washing up bowl.
Yeah, washing up bowl.
A sink tub.
A sink
Sink
tub.
tub. Yeah, I've got a sink tub, yeah.
As you can
I'm not drilling a hole in that.
that. Why? Fill the sink
Because
with
it'll have a hole
water.
in
Push it.
Pretty obvious, but no reason why.
No water's going to come up through it.
Oh, the water. Yeah, but then when you use
Our
it,
lass comes up to me. Why
Why
are you drilling a hole in the washing up bowl? Oh, science.
Talk to Becky and see if Becky agrees with you.
I will ask her. I will.
Yes,
I will.
please. And I want to hear her
And
response.
record that
record
conversation.
the conversation.
I'm telling you now, though, I will happily go out onto a river or a lake, open
We're
water
fucking
in a
doing
boat,
this.
and put a hole in the bottom of it.
We're doing
course.
it then. We're doing
It
it. Come
will
on.
not.
We've got a day trip.
Nothing will come.
Day
Nothing
trip,
will come through.
100%. 100% day trip. He's 100% certain we're day tripping.
I'm up for it.
And if it
Right.
sinks, I'll stand there and I'll salute you as I go down with the ship.
Well, we've come to the end of another episode of Killer Rabbit Podcast. Thank you ever so much for listening. We've enjoyed your company very much, and if you've enjoyed ours, then come and tell us. Find us online on the socials at Killer Rabbit Pod, or email us at killerrabbitpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us stories, you can send us suggestions, you can send us topics, impressions, whatever you like. Send it through,
Whatever
get
you
in
like,
touch,
really?
get involved.
Whatever
Yeah,
you like.
they can send us
Whatever you want.
anything.
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 Anything?
At this point, yes.
Anything.
Anything. I'm getting so saddened by the lack of things that are being sent to us that they can send anything.
They can send anything, but they don't. And
You
Sam
can
is dead because of it.
send anthrax.
No, don't say that. I know that comes under the remit of anything,
Fuck's
but
sake,
no,
you
don't
did
send
say
that.
You can't start setting
anything.
rules now. You said
can't.
anything.
No,
You can't now
said-
start putting
You
boundaries on
said
it.
you were so tired that no one was sending stuff that it's now you're allowed to send anything. And I'm sorry, but under the banner of anything is anthrax.
But
True.
if we get sent anthrax, that'd be rubbish. That'd be that'd be a really bad day.
You wouldn't know
That
about
would be
it.
a really bad day.
I mean, you would because you'd end up quarantined and waiting for it to kill you. But
Yeah.
Don't you
which-
kill it?
come
It's
on.
pretty instant though. It's like a 2
Don't
minute.
send us that.
is it 2 minutes?
a
Don't
proper
send us
anthrax
toxic
if you
or
inhale
poisonous
it.
subject. Substances. Please.
Yeah. Okay.
Just don't send us anything.
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
to
let's
play
go
on the
back
safe
to
side.
that.
Yeah.
Stop
But
it.
But no,
Stop
thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Come and say hello. Do come and say hello. We like it very much.
Do we?
We love it.
We do. Well, that's it.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Okay, right.
Until next time.
Sam's just wanted us to try and derail him and whatnot. Sam, you're relying on us too much here. Why don't you talk about something yourself?
No, let's just
Why
get
is your
out of here.
camera?
Let's
Why
go.
are you so low on your camera today? Why is it just? the
Yeah,
top
that's
of
good. But
it?
all I've seen is his eyebrows fucking
Yeah, no.
floating about.
Are you that small that your camera can't even pick you up anymore?
I'm very small. Very small man.
Very small man.
no.
Oh no.
Right, I'm getting out of here before the small abuse continues. Thanks for
Small
listening,
abuse,
everybody.
Just tiny abuse. That's all. It's just a little.
It's just a small bit of abuse.
It's a small abuse. It's not a lot of abuse. You can't take.
It's
a
a
little,
large amount
you
of
can't-
small abuse.
You can't
Stop
take
it.
a tiny amount of abuse.
Stop it. I'm out of here.
Damn it!
Bye for now. I've been Sam.
I've been Benson.
I've been Adam.
Bye bye.